Damn, damn, damn. All right, what's going on, guys? What's going on? Danny, what did I hit today? Today was a rest day for me, buddy, so I did not train today. I went to work and then I came home and took a nap. TikTok's favorite ginger. Let's go. Let's get it, baby. We back. We back. Hope you guys are doing good. So as usual, the drink of choice for tonight's TikTok live is the sun-kissed orange, 0 sugar. Sun-kissed orange, 0 sugar. That's the drink for tonight's podcast. What supplements do you use? I use a lot, man, and it depends. It depends when whether or not I'm on cycle, because when I'm on baby aspirin, magnesium glycinate, omega. I think I said omega 3s already. Curcumin. What else? I mean, that's just health supplements right there. That's not including like aminos and carb powders and whey and all that type of stuff. So I use a lot. That's a nice beard, my man. Hood Caidin, bro. I appreciate that. What's up with that name, though? There aren't a whole lot of Caidins that I meet, so I appreciate that, bro. Usually when damn, bro, I'm looking. There's another Caidin in here. There are 2 Caidins in here that are not me. That is just absolutely wild. Would you think less of me if I stored tater tots in my pocket? Ancestry type thing. I'm pretty sure we're German, but I'm fucking whiter than hell. Do you compete? What's up, man? Matt, how you doing, brother? How you doing? Why did you block me on Grindr? I don't even have Grindr, bro. I wouldn't have blocked you, though, if I did. Nice beard. Oreos with no milk, bro. First of all, thank you for the nice comment. But 2, like, Oreos with no milk, man. What's up with that? Man? Milk is the best part. Kyle McBroom, how many days a week do you train? I train 4 days a week. I don't know if you like regularly watch my content, but I made a video some point last week where I talked about how for the past like 2 months I've noticed that most of that time period I was training for 5 days a week, and so starting this week I just made like a conscious effort of changing my training program to make sure that I'm training 4 days a week so that my recovery is better, and I plan on making a YouTube video for that sometime within the week to kind of explain my thought processes on that. 5'4", black hair. Never had her dad there. I assume those are like song lyrics. I have no idea. Who's your favorite client? I don't have a favorite client there. I assume those are like song lyrics. I have no idea. Who's your favorite client? I don't have a favorite client, man. All my clients are pretty great. Yeah, actually, honestly, all my clients are really, really great. I have to say, like, I know a lot of other people that coach people and say that they have problems with like their clients like turning their check-ins in time and everything, but I have like no problems with it. I'm actually like really, really, really happy. I have no problems. None of my people have no problems turning their stuff in, so. Could you beat up Will Smith? I don't know, dude. How old is Will Smith? I bet I could take him. But if my life depended on it, I think I could take him. But I don't know. He smacked the shit out of Chris Rock, though, huh? Kyle Duggs, get a job. Dude, I have like fucking 3 or 4 jobs, so if anything, I need to lose a job so that I can kind of get some free time and sanity back. Do you compete? The live lagged when you answered the last guy. So Liam, I want to compete. I am training with the goal of competing, but I have not competed before, and I am not like currently prepping. So I'm not like an active competitor. I'm an aspiring competitor. I do want to compete. Can I be a moderator? Seth, I don't really need mods. Like, up to this point, I'm kind of good. I don't really need people to moderate my chat. Sun kiss time. Could I be your client? What do I do? If you're interested in coaching, then go to my TikTok profile and go to the link tree in my bio, and I have an application on there that you can click on and fill out, and then I will contact you through email once you fill out the application. What are you competing in? So I want to compete in bodybuilding. Do you only take dollars for your coaching? If you're asking about training people overseas, I do work with people overseas. My money comes out through PayPal, and PayPal will convert it from whatever your currency is to US dollars. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, so while I kind of have a lull in the questions, I feel like I should take some time to kind of explain to you guys where I'm at within my training and what is kind of going on in the process right now. So for those of you who have been following for some time, you'll be familiar with the fact that I have been cutting. And really, it started off as a mini cut. The goal was to mini cut and then kind of clean up some body fat and then push back up into a bulk and get bigger. And then as I started to get leaner, I started to kind of get this idea in my head that if I continued to diet and I liked what I saw as I continued to get leaner, then I would step on stage this year and I would do my first competition. And I kind of had that thought process in my head, and so I continued to diet past the point in which it would have been considered a mini cut. And I just kind of got to a point eventually that I realized that if I continued to get lean, I wasn't going to have something that I would be confident to put on stage. So right now I'm in the process of slowly adding in back food, slowly increasing training volume, and just kind of recovering from the fatigue that the diet caused. And then just kind of get into a place where where I know where I'm at with my nutrition, and I'm ready to bulk and push my weight back up again. And then at that point, I will reintroduce PEDs and gain weight and muscle from there, and bulk again, because I just need to be bigger. I've got the itch to compete. It's really pulling on me. I want to do it, but I know that if I were to do it, I would not be happy with the final product, more than likely. And so I just kind of want to take some time and make sure that when I do it, I'm going to do it right. So what questions did I miss while I just rambled there? Does that beard pull? Yeah, I mean, it's got some give to it. Could you explain why the prime equipment and better equipment like that can be loaded on different pegs? So the prime equipment, specifically the different pegs, are really going to determine where the load drops off or picks up within the range of motion. So one of the pegs is going to have the weight pick up in the lengthened position. One is going to be through the mid-range, and one is going to be through the shortened. The different peg is I'm pretty sure is different for each machine, unless it's consistent. Like the top peg is always the short, or I don't know, because I've never actually used any of the prime equipment. I understand the thought process behind the variable resistance profiles, but I have never actually used it myself, so I can't give you like a lecture on it. Do you have to eat specifically for your transgender transition? How do you determine how many sets you need for a certain exercise? Well, it's not about a certain amount of sets that you need. It's about how many sets can you realistically do and recover from. So an exercise that doesn't cause... So here's... You have to come up with like a unit of fatigue, right? So I have this phrase that I think about, which is like, how much fatigue does this exercise cause per set? If I do one working set to failure on this exercise, like how much fatigue does that cause? And on something like a hack squat, the amount of fatigue that is caused per set is tremendously high. And because of that, you can't realistically do a lot of those sets because the fatigue is so high that each set that you do, each subsequent set after that first max effort set, the amount of stimulus that you're getting is considerably less than the first because of the fatigue that you're accumulating. But when you're talking about something like a lateral raise or a bicep curl, like you can do 3 to 4 max effort sets of a bicep curl, and like, it's not that big of a deal. But you can't do 4 max effort sets of a fucking hack squat without throwing up and like going into fucking rhabdo, like right there on the gym floor. So exercises that have a tremendous amount of fatigue, you can't do as much work on. And exercises that have a smaller fatigue ceiling, you can do more work on because they don't kick your ass as much. So I hope that kind of clears that up for you a little bit. I've been going back and forth from a bulk and a cut for the past year and haven't made much progress. Is that why? Absolutely, yeah, dude. You're just spinning your wheels. You gotta commit. You gotta commit to one direction. I feel tired and don't really want to go to the gym. Should I take it as a sign to rest or should I go? It depends if it's like a one-time thing or if it's like you've been feeling this way for like a while now, like a week or a couple days. If it's just like one day you're like, I don't really want to train, then suck it up. But if you've been feeling this way for like a week and you don't normally feel this way, then yeah, that's definitely a sign that you could deload or rest. Will there be a point where stress can aid in weight loss? No, absolutely not. I mean, stress does nothing good for us. I mean, realistically. Like, always amped to train and always wants to train, but like for the past like week or two you have like not wanted to train, like that's an obvious sign that like something's wrong. Am I wasting my newbie gains or newbie gains amount of muscle you gain or amount of time? Joseph Lavelle, that question is like worded very poorly. I can't understand what you're saying there at all. How would you recommend I increase my deadlift numbers if this is in your ballpark? I'm not really that educated on like programming for like maximum strength. Something that comes to mind that I hear a lot of powerlifting coaches and shit talk about is if you want to get better at something, do it more. So, I mean, that's a very elementary answer, but I would say deadlift more. But realistically, you should find somebody who like programs for strength. I program for hypertrophy. So, that this isn't really up my alley. I don't feel comfortable giving you like a legit answer. I wouldn't feel confident in it. Could you explain types of deloads? So I think that this is kind of a misconception a lot of people have, and I get this question all the time. So there are not different types of deloads. There are different ways to deload, meaning there are multiple ways to achieve the same thing. So let's say you finish a training block and you're fucking tired. You have a couple options to deload. The most basic and obvious is you could just take a week off. You could just take a week off the gym completely. That's probably the most effective and the most recommended way to do it, because you get a physical and mental break away from the gym. The problem with that is that there are a lot of people out there who mentally cannot take themselves out of the gym for a week. They really, really struggle with that. If that's the case, then you can still go to the gym and achieve the same thing, but you have to understand that what you do in the gym cannot be like super intense work. And basically what you would do then is if you were to go into the gym, you would train at like an every other day. This is how I usually set it up. You would train at like an every other day frequency. So maybe you train Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then say you normally do 10 sets on a push day. You would do 5. I usually cut volume by 50%. And then you could either or could not leave reps in reserve. And in a lot of cases, I would recommend leaving reps in reserve on the taxing exercises in the session, and then using a 0 or a 1 reps in reserve for your isolation work. But really, all that you're doing when you're deloading is getting rid of fatigue and allowing your body to recover. And there are really 2 ways you can do that, by either training or not training. But you have to realize that if you're going to train, it can't be full balls to the wall. Are newbie gains an amount of time or an amount of muscle you gain? That's a good question. When I think of newbie gains, I think of it as like a time period. Like it's an amount of time and not necessarily muscle. Yeah, I hope that answers your question, because this is a good one. I consider newbie gains like any amount of muscle that you gain within your first X amount of months of training. I trained to failure for 2 sets on most exercises, but struggle to feel the muscle. Any advice? Well, yeah, you have to change your form, man. There's a degree of it doesn't matter how hard you train if you're not actually using the muscle, then you need to educate yourself on that. That's step 1. The basic fundamental thing about training is not how much weight are you moving, and it's how are you moving it, and are you moving it correctly. Just wanted to say hi. I love your videos, man. They are super helpful. Devin, Marcus, I appreciate that a lot. I really do. Can you twerk? Love the YouTube content. No, I can't twerk. Show us the squishmallows in the back. You got it. I got 2 of them. Check this out. So this is Buzz Lightyear. Hopefully, you can see this. This is Buzz Lightyear This was a big one. I originally bought Buzz Lightyear to be like a pillow. And it was like a super comfortable pillow for like a week, and then it started to hurt my neck because it's like so tall that you're like fucking sleeping like this with your head up. It was super uncomfortable. But my girlfriend naps on it like all the time. And then my girlfriend just bought this little one. It says "Hustle for that muscle." He's wearing a little headband. So those are the Squishmallows. What lateral delt exercises would you recommend using just free weights or cable stack? Dumbbell laterals and cable laterals. I mean, that's really all you got. But I mean, look, you can do standing dumbbell laterals. You can do seated dumbbell laterals. You can do single arm cuffed laterals. You can do, obviously, standing dual arm cuffed laterals. So I mean, that's 4 of them right there. How many more do you realistically need? When is your next show? I don't have a show decided yet. I need to be bigger before I consider looking at a show. Thank you. I struggle with the mental side of not training. Okay, so then Purple Hippo, what I would do then, if you have to go, if you are someone who has to go to the gym, is I would just go to the gym and I would do like 3. I would do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I would just do like three easy workouts. 3 easy workouts. I mean, not like easy where you do nothing at all and waste your time, but like comparatively to what you normally do, like maybe 50% of that. Can you waste your newbie gains, or is that not how it's going right off the rip? Like, nobody does that. Shoulder bulletproofing tips. Man, I am not the guy to ask about this. I think from a lot of the people that I watch and a lot of people that I talk to that have made improvements in their shoulder stability, it's all the basic shit that everyone tells us to do. It's the banded rotator cuff exercises and the stretching of the pecs and the lats to make sure that the shoulder can move freely, and it's just being really, really consistent with that for a long period of time. So I think that's like the least like sexy answer that you could get, but I think that that's like the realistic answer. There's a guy that I actually talk to at my gym like very, very frequently who had like really, according to him, like really bad shoulder problems for a while, and every single day that he's in the gym, no matter what it is that he's training, after he trains, before he goes home, he does his banded rotator cuff exercises, and he told me that it's taken him like 6 months of consistently doing that to get to the point where he's like nearly 100%. So I would just like make that type of stuff like I would just make that type of stuff like part of your routine from here until the day you stop lifting. So just be mind-numbingly consistent with doing it. And make sure that when you're doing it, you're not just like going through the motions, because I'm guilty of that, and I think a lot of us are guilty about doing that. Especially if we're going through a warm-up routine, like we might just like grab the band and just like do some bullshit and just kind of like go through the motions and check the box that we did it, versus like being mindful we're actually using the rotator cuff to move the load. So I think it's just about being consistent with doing it and then being present while you're doing it and making sure that you're actually doing it with effort and not just going through the motions. Our farmer carries good. J Muff, I think if your goal is to improve grip strength and grip endurance, like, yeah, of course. Of course they're good. Joseph, do you mind answering my questions if you can waste your newbie gains? No. No, it doesn't work like that. Everybody wastes their newbie gains. Who do you know that goes into the gym like already know, like before they've even done their first workout ever, they already know like how to structure a diet, how to structure training. Like nobody does that. Every single person that goes to the gym and their first year or two they're in the gym, they're just trying to figure out what the fuck they're doing. And so everybody wastes their newbie gains. It's not something to worry about. Just focus on getting better. That's it. Kyle McBroom, do you have cheat meals? Yeah, I do. Typically, how can I really explain this? Typically, like, if my girlfriend and I are going to eat out at a restaurant, like, we know where we're going ahead of time, and, like, we have a general idea, like, I have a general idea of what I'm going to order before I go to a restaurant, and so I just, like, I account for that in my macros. So, like, if we're going to go out and have a meal and I'm going to have, like, a really high-calorie meal, like, I will pull calories out of all of my other meals earlier in the day so that even when I have this high-calorie meal, it fits within my macros. It's very rare that I will just be like, I don't give a shit, I'm just going to eat, like, whatever I want and not worry about, like, tracking it and having a general idea about how much that I eat. That's really only for, like, special occasions like holidays and, like, our anniversary or like something like that. Like if we go out and have like a nice meal. But and then also usually when we go out to eat, we usually go to places where you can get like decent food, like steak and rice or, you know, whatever. So I did your leg workout a few months ago. I couldn't walk for 3 days. I loved it. Well, that's good to hear, rugby cheerleader. That's actually pretty cool. Have you considered doing more than one working set for each exercise? So, Ricky, I just answered a question similar to this like probably 10 minutes ago, and obviously I assume that you weren't in the chat then, but I do as many sets as I can do for an exercise that I realistically think that I can do. And there are some exercises out there that are so fatiguing, like a hack squat, a leg press, a deadlift. I can only do one working set realistically. The back down set is never as good as the top. You only get one shot. Now, on exercises that don't cause as much fatigue, like a press or a lateral raise or a tricep extension, I am doing 2 sets and sometimes 3. So most of the time, if you see me doing 1 set on an exercise, it's usually a big fucking heavy duty like compound exercise. And when you look at like my calf training or my laterals or my bicep curls and my tricep extensions, I'm doing like 2 to 3 sets on those. So how did you train during lockdown? That is a good question. So one of my actually it wasn't one of my friends, it was a collection of people from the gym, but one of my friends from the gym had a garage that was completely empty, and then another one of his friends had like a barbell, and then another friend had like a squat rack, and then another friend had like a bench. And it was basically a collection of guys that just like combined all of their stuff into like this one guy's garage, and we just kind of used it as like a very basic garage gym. And it was pretty fucking cool. It was pretty fucking cool. I mean, obviously it wasn't a fucking, it wasn't the ideal situation, but it was like, I don't know what I would have fucking done without that, for real. Yeah, I have no idea what I would have done without that. Thoughts on the King from NV? I don't even know what that is. P. Dot. I don't know who that is. Realistically, how quick should your strength go up on a bulk for a beginner intermediate lifter? I don't think there's any like set rate of strength. Here's the thing, man. You are only going to be like as good as you can be. And so I think that you should just focus on like doing all of the variables that you need to do to the best of your ability, and you're gonna get as strong as you can, like as quickly as you can. Like there's no like number that I can give you, really, because it's totally different for everybody. Some people are born to be unbelievably fucking strong, and they get insanely strong super fast. And some people gotta work for it. Like, I gotta work for my strength, man. I'm not strong at all. I'm doing fucking RDLs with 2 plates. And I've been lifting for a long time. So, and honestly, man, with like, with a question like that, like, I don't really know what answer I can give you that will like make you feel a certain type of way, because like what if I say that you should double your lifts, and then like after your first year or two you only go up like 50%? Now you're gonna feel like shit because you feel like you should have doubled your lifts. Well, what if you triple your lifts, and now you're gonna think that you're hot shit because you were faster than what the expected rate of strength is, but there just isn't one. Do you have any tattoos? No, I do not. I don't. I'm not like against tattoos. I just like, I'm not like crazy about getting a tattoo, and I don't like really have like any like ideas that are just like really itching at me to get done. Train old school. So Sean Collins, I want you to explain this to me, because I ask this question of everybody that says this to me. What does train old school mean? What does that mean? How would you define old school training? Heavy dumbbell press, barbell press, deadlift, squats, rows, etc., mate. Big weights, yeah, buddy. You think T-bar good mid-back movement? If it feels good to you in your mid-back, then yeah, do it. If you're talking about like the traditional T-bar row with this little V handle, I don't like that one personally. Your favorite ways to deload? Nick, I just answered a question like this like 15 minutes ago. Basically, either taking a complete week off the gym or going to the gym every other day and working at 50% volume. Those are my favorite ways to deload. Mr. Big Lutz, just ask your question again for me. Do you ever bench press? I haven't bench press in like last week, if not the week before. And then on my YouTube channel, I uploaded a leg day video, and at the end of the leg day video, I have a shot of me posing my legs. So I mean, I've posted stuff. Favorite form of HIIT cardio and what they can do in a gym, real some muscle damage to the quads and to the legs, which may impact your training. It may improve your recovery. It really kind of depends. People seem to adapt differently to HIIT cardio. But my personal favorite form is the ropes, because it doesn't really, you're flailing your arms a lot, but it's not like you do a battle rope session and then like later in the day, like your arms are sore from shaking the ropes. Whereas like if I do HIIT cardio, like bike sprints, like my quads will be fucking pumped for hours after that. And I feel like that just kind of causes a little bit of localized muscle fatigue, where if I'm going to be training a leg day in a day or two, that may impede my ability to recover. I could also be completely overthinking that. So, but I like the ropes. The ropes are great, and they're hard as fuck. Any good recommendations in Chicago? Every single one I went to was terrible. Where at in Chicago specifically? Like, are you talking like Chicago, like the city? I don't know, man. I haven't really been to a lot of gyms in the city. I would look to see how far Quad's gym is from you. That's really kind of like the mainstay gym in Chicago is Quad's, and then what's the other one? I think it's called Chicago Barbell Compound. You may want to check how far that one is from you. But I live in the suburbs of Chicago, so I'm not really familiar with a lot of gyms in the city itself. Do you have quad and ham focus days, or just a mix of both twice per week? It's a mix of both twice per week. So both have quad and both have hamstring. Eli, how's it going, brother? I'm doing good. I'm doing good myself. Doing pretty good. Tired today, but I'm good otherwise. You're looking rather moist today. I'm very succulent. Is that a vintage stereo in your wall? If you're talking about this, no, this is a air conditioning unit. Our apartment complex does not have central air. They have window units. Good to hear. How's the adductor? Well, it feels good today. I mean, the day after, it feels good. Friday, I'm hitting legs again. So that'll really be when the test is. To me, honestly, it's really not about how it feels outside of the gym, it's how it feels in the gym. So strange looking. Yeah, I know. It's like, it's weird. But we have a really nice, really cute, like, one bedroom apartment. Like, it's new and modernized and everything, and everything is great, but they just don't have central air. So we have this window unit, which I'm from, like, I grew up in, like, a farmhouse which didn't have central AC, so, like, it's not a problem to me. But I would rather have central AC. It's a lot quieter. Do you ever have problems counting reps? Because I do. I would rather have central AC. It's a lot quieter. Do you ever have problems counting reps? Because I do. Yeah, I do, and that's one of the reasons why I like to film my sets. If I'm filming a set, I know that I don't necessarily have to count reps during the set. I can just watch it back. But yeah, I do have a problem counting reps sometimes. When programming a hammer strength incline press versus an incline dumbbell press, which one do you prefer? I think there are two different tools to accomplish the same thing. I don't see why you couldn't program both. Like, there are two different tools to accomplish the same thing. I don't see why you couldn't program both. Why can't you do one hard working set on the incline press and then go do a one hard working set on the incline dumbbell and split the work between the two? If I had to pick one, you're asking me, I would pick the machine. I love machines. But if you don't feel like you get full range of motion on the hammer strength press, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying you're lying, but hammer strength presses are usually pretty good range of motion wise. So, but just do both, bro. You don't have to worry about comparing the two. They're both staple exercises, so. All right, guys, I think I'm going to be on for about another 5 minutes or so. So I'll just use this as an opportunity for you guys to kind of get some last second questions in here, unless obviously the questions pick an energy drink. But I haven't bought an actual pre-workout in probably 2 years now. dumbbell press in the 6 to 8 or 10 to 12 rep range. Either. Both are good. Do both. Do you think being at a higher body fat compromises muscle gain? Well, to an extent, yes. Like there's a point where like being too fat is going to start to have detrimental effects on your health and your ability to gain muscle. But I think like for guys, that's around like the 20 to 25% range. And I think if you mean higher body fat, meaning like some people like don't go above like 12% body fat. And I think if you're that person, like, yeah, I think that you would benefit a lot from pushing into that 15 to 20% body fat range. If you're always putting yourself in that 20% body, or excuse me, that 12% body fat range, like when you push to that 15 to 20%, like you're going to get strong as fuck. And then all of the time that you spend being that strong is just going to accumulate more muscle for you. But if you're someone who's like 25 to 30 to 35% body fat, like, yeah, you're not in a good position to build muscle there. So I mean, there's a point where it's too much. Thoughts on HIIT heavy duty? If you're talking about Mike Mentzer's HIIT heavy duty, then I think most people cannot pull it off successfully. It's almost impossible to do, I think, solo. I could be wrong on that, but it looks like it requires a lot of forced reps and forced tension and everything, and so you have to have a training partner. And I think a lot of people would struggle to train at the intensity that is required to get it done in one set. But Jameel, hey, what's up, man? All right, guys, last round of questions here, and we're gonna get this one wrapped up for the night. So this is my first live in I think like a week and a half or so, and so I'm happy with the turnout tonight. Dylan Kaufman, my coaching is $100 per month. $100 US. How often do you do Q&As? So I try to do them as often as I can. I've kind of made some changes to my schedule now, so I should be available to do them more often. I'd like to get back to doing them twice a week, but definitely at least once a week, and usually on a Tuesday or Thursday. Love your content, bro. Jameel, I appreciate that a lot, man. I appreciate that a lot. Did you body, recomp, or cut? I cut. I don't think recomping is something most people can pull off. I don't get to join the lives too much, but always love the content. Always helpful shit, bro. 4 Doors, I appreciate you, man. I haven't been going live as much lately. I've been really, really busy, but that's kind of why I wanted to hop on here today and get this done, because I really love doing the lives, man. I get a lot of enjoyment out of doing these. As I just got done rambling about, I haven't done one of these in a week and a half or so, if not 2 weeks. So I wasn't sure how this would go, but I'm glad that you guys are still out there and you guys are still tuning into the lives and you guys are still asking great questions. So as usual, this will get uploaded as a VOD onto my YouTube channel sometime soon. Speaking of my YouTube channel, I have a lot of great content that's going to be coming out to my YouTube channel. So if you guys have not subscribe to my YouTube channel, then do that. I just uploaded a video last week about my leg training and kind of my thought processes with leg training, which has a kind of half semi-physique update at the end on there. Videos that are going to be coming out on the YouTube channel. I've got my warm-up and mobility routine for my lower body sessions coming out. I want to make a video kind of recapping my cut and talking about where I'm going to be going from here with my physique. I want to make a video talking about the changes that I've just made to my training program. So there's going to be a lot of good content coming out to the YouTube channel. So if you guys want to go check that out and sub there, there's going to be some good stuff coming out there. So as always, guys, stay tuned to the TikTok. Go to the link tree in my bio. You guys can see my Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff from there, and kind of follow me on all my platforms so you can kind of keep up to date with what I'm doing and what all my content is getting put out. So I'll stop blabbering now, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys. And as always, take care of yourselves. Have a good night.